I don't know why, but at like 1 a.m., this is the funniest thing to me. Hello guys, welcome to another storytime video, this time with no weird laundry in the background. I'm going to be sharing my experience at Interactive Introverts. I went to the show in Rosemont. I went there with Amber and Emma. They've been in my videos quite a few times. We wanted to go to Interactive Introverts because, well, one, we're fans of Dan and Phil, and two, because I wanted to go on an adventure this summer, and I had a lot of money from graduation, and I looked at ticket prices, and they're actually doable. We, as in me and Amber, we surprised Emma with tickets to the show.
So, you need to sit down.
Why?
Just sit
Just
down.
sit down. Okay.
So, we originally had a whole thing planned out, but we couldn't get it together in time.
So we will give that to you as a separate gift later.
So,
Okay.
we're
But-
just gonna kind of, yeah.
Oh my freaking god. I love you, Katie.
And we
Yeah.
both have tickets.
And we're all gonna be going.
That's amazing. I love you guys.
Eventually, the day of the show rolls around, and I didn't really vlog much of the trip there because I live in the Midwest. It's just corn. You're not missing anything. We stopped at the shopping outlet that's near the theater, just because we got there early and we were killing time. We looked around there for a while at the Build-A-Bear there. My mom, who she's the one that drove us there and back. She got really excited over the stuffed corgi that they had there because it looked like our dog Brody. Started showing the employees the pictures of our dogs, and that seemed to have made their day. While we were at the mall, we did see quite a few Dan and Phil fans there, which was cool. If you saw us, be sure to say hey in the comment section down below. At the mall, I got like this little stuffed Donald Duck. I'll go get it real quick. I don't know why, but at like 1 a.m., this is the funniest thing to me. The show finally rolls around and we get inside. We're going through security and all that, and the merch line is so long. I was actually kind of convinced that it was the meet and greet line. I was wrong, but normally I'm kind of scared in big crowded areas, but I kind of felt fine here because it felt like I was with a bunch of people who were kind of like me. You know what I mean? Like, I felt okay. I was actually comfortable talking to a couple people there without a problem. Because normally I'm like very uncomfortable talking to strangers and stuff, but here I was fine, and I thought that was kind of interesting. Yeah, the merch line was awfully long because there was like only one line. We ended up just getting merch after the show. Before the show started, I saw two people with the lesbian flag. I saw two people with a pansexual flag, and I saw somebody with a Bob Ross blanket, and they wore it as a cape. And they had like a little parade thing where they would kind of run around. And I don't know, it was cool. It was cool. It was silly, but it was cool. It's something you would only see at a Dan and Phil show. When Black Parade started playing, the lights dimmed. Everybody pulled out their phones and turned on the flashlights, and they were like doing the thing. And we all started singing "Welcome to the Black Parade." Amber said it was like one of the coolest things she's ever seen. Sorry, I'm like, it's hard trying to think and paint at the same time. We learned that Dan and Phil actually really well, not Phil per se. Dan really enjoys Chicago-style pizza. He really likes the amount of cheese on it. At our show, they did, trying to remember in order, at the simulation part, Dan, I'm trying to explain this for the people who didn't see the show, i.e. my family members who are probably watching this. They did this simulation thing where it was like a choose your own adventure, only the audience chose what kind of happened to Dan and Phil. This is a screen, and on the screen it like showed the story and stuff.
And then we cheered for which option we wanted.
We cheered for Satan in Phil's story because he ended up running into Satan, and we all kind of cheered for that for some reason. I don't know. We're a weird fandom. It's gonna look how I want it to. Yes, that's how I want it to look. Okay. We got both bad endings for both Phil's story and Dan's story.
I also forgot to mention a whole part of the show where, as an audience, we did one giant clap, and that was really cool. There was also a part of the show where they tossed 3 balls into different sections of the show, and the audience members caught it, and they had to guess what was in the box that's underneath Dan's bed. And what they guessed was Nick Jonas, a corgi, and sketches for a furry suit. And on the scroll that was in the box, they unraveled it, and it was all the stuff that they guessed, like, written out. And that was cool.
It's not as sparkly as I want it to. Maybe it'll look sparklier when I put it on. I really can't tell the differences in paint right now. Oh, okay. It is sparkly. It is sparklier. Anyways, they gave us a collective audience name. I'm sure they do that for like every show. Our audience name was Susan. Together we are Susan and we are valid. Truth bombs. There's just like so much that happened in the show. I'm trying to remember all of it. Before the show, online, there's like this survey and they ask you questions. There's like a truth bomb section. The question was, what would be the worst way of torturing Phil? And the one that he picked was a corgi that was too far away to pet. I can't remember what Dan's was. But one of the questions was, would you sacrifice Dan or Phil? And the audience picked Dan. So Dan got hooked up to the death wheel. Phil shot things at him like a slingshot, a bow and arrow, but it was like one of those bow and arrows that has like a suction cup at the end, a bazooka, which honestly I think was just a paintball gun. And yes, he did hit Dan in the crotch like 3 times. And Dan yelled at him for it. It was funny. It was kind of hard to see the show because of where we were sitting. This is where the stage was. We were kind of like over here, so it was kind of hard. Oh! Stay. 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 Okay. Anywho, there was like a friendship quiz, and they tested each other's friendship, and every time they got something wrong, they would get like a little zap. But they both lost that, so they both got a shock on the highest one, and it messed with the power. So they sat down, they answered a few questions that they already printed out. One of the questions was, I'm pregnant, I'm gonna have a baby. I'm thinking about the names Lucas or Sebastian. What should we name the baby? Or what should I name the baby? As an audience, we ended up picking Sebastian of the name Lucas. Me and my friends, we cheered for the name Sebastian. Sebastian won. So we named a baby. Then they did the award show. Dan, I think that was the part where Dan twerked to the Pokemon theme, because that was like a part of the most inaccurate description or most inaccurate predictions for the show. Was Phil twerking to that, and Dan ended up doing that. I thought that would be the end of the show, and I was like starting to get really sad because I heard Phil was gonna have like a diss track and that they were gonna do a duet, and I was just like, oh, I guess they're not gonna do that for our show, and I was quite sad. But that was their grand finale, and I was happy. But I had a really good time at the show. It's definitely made for fans, so if you aren't a fan of Dan and Phil, why can't we have nice things? There. Anyways, the show is definitely made for fans. So if you haven't watched Dan and Phil for years and you don't understand any of the inside jokes, I definitely wouldn't recommend seeing this show. But if you are a big fan of Dan and Phil, then definitely come see this show. They had really cool merch. They had this denim jacket there that from afar it looks leather, and I thought it was a leather jacket, and I was really excited about getting it. But it's actually denim, and it was probably the most expensive item on there, so unfortunately I didn't get it. It was like $80, and I was just wanting to get this t-shirt, which is Interactive Introverts, and it's got the tour dates on the back. I definitely would see this show again. Like, the only thing I would change is where I sat. I would get better seats. I definitely had a fun time. If you're also at the show in Rosemont, be sure to say hi down in the comment section below. Emma will be making a video about this if she already hasn't. I didn't really vlog the experience because I wanted to enjoy the moment. Can you see? You can't see the yellow star. I'll be back. At the show, this girl, we were thinking about like maybe saying hi to people, like the flag people that I mentioned earlier, but we were just awkward beans, and we were just kind of standing around not knowing what to do, and a girl walked by us, and she she came up to us and she pointed at the trash can, and she was just like, I can't believe they let Dan here, or I can't believe Dan's right there, or it was something along those lines, and I thought it was funny. Is that better? That looks better. See how it looks in the box. So, this is what the box looks like. I tried, here, maybe if I take it out of this. Yeah, I tried to make like a little Steven Universe box, because I saw the star box at Michael's, and I thought it was really cool, and it's still a little bit wet. Tried going for like red sparkly paint. I don't know how sparkly it looks, but oof. Okay, this is what it looks like together. It will focus. There we go. This is what it looks like. Okay. Thank you guys so much for watching. Be sure to comment, like, and subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next video. This is Katie Ross, signing off.